and welcome to Great Getaways, the original outdoor adventure and travel show. Today we bring you the fourth in our series of video blogs. We're going to be going to Roscommon County, and I got to tell you what, I can't believe how much there really is to see and do here. I know this is a show you're going to enjoy. First stop's going to take you back to the 70s as we go to Hippie Fest. After that, we're going downtown Houghton Lake, where we're going to see all kinds of activities that you can do during the summer. This is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be groovy.
I'm not sleepy, there is no place.
Right now we're in Houghton Lake and we are at a hippie festival. And I'm with Justin and Kim right now, and you guys are putting this on. You guys actually started this?
Yes, we did. We started it last summer, holding a big hippie fest down in Canterbury Village.
How did you get this idea?
How did we get this idea?
Everyone loves hippies. Everyone loves hippies.
So, well, tell us a little bit about what goes on in something like this.
Okay, at a hippie fest, we have a lot of fun things. Of course, it's peace, love, and hippies. We have bands.
Vanish from my head. If you're blinded, is to stand, still not sleeping. My witness amazes me. I'm ready.
We also have a very fun kids area where we have hula hooping, we have dancing, they make crafts, bubbles, and of course, we have over 70 vendors behind us.
Okay, well, what are these vendors bringing in?
All types of different stuff. We've got local bakers and crafters. We've got massage therapists, psychic readers, a lot of jewelers and artisans of all kinds.
Okay, and you mentioned too that there's bands and there's yoga, and I see we've got an area out here that's kind of set up in a circle. What is that about?
Our community drumming circle. So we have a community drumming with lots of different instruments. Again, part of that hippie movement, the hippie fest is feel good vibes. So, and the drumming is really fun, and it starts us off with a great community feeling.
Okay, what about some of the vendors that we've got in here? What kind of things do they bring in?
We've got, we've got Libby, who did, we've got the hippie bus out front, where she sells a lot of different merchandise. We've got a lot of local businesses, massage therapists bringing in their tables and
Fresh honey,
food products, prepackaged goods, all sorts of stuff.
Looks like a lot of clothing, jewelry,
Oh,
and
yes,
different things
tie-dye.
like that. So there's a variety of different things that people can get from that here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something for everybody here at Hippie Fest.
Okay, so people could just come in here then?
Yep, it's $5 admission at the door, and come on in, have some fun. There's food here from the Northern Center, also beverages, and we have, again, dancing, bands, entertainment. Our belly dancers are phenomenal. People love them, and of course, all the amazing shopping that we have here. Plus, we also have prizes, store prizes.
All right, well, we're going to take a look around, maybe listen to some of the bands or see some of the different demonstrations that are going on, and just have a great time. Pick up local produce at the farmers markets. Well, Kim, this is really nice down here. There's a lot of different things for people to see. How long does it go on?
It's all summer, and I can tell you as the summer goes on, we'll have more fresh fruits, fresh vegetables from the farmers. Every week it's something different. You never know what you might have, so you can't just come once. You have to come every Friday and check out what we have.
Yeah, I suggest everybody come down. Remember, you can come in here and pick up some fresh fruit, some vegetables, or maybe find a gift that you want too. So it's just a great spot to visit. We're right down here in Prudentville. A nice stop when you're at Houghton Lake. Local crafts and foods are offered at weekly farmers markets in Roscommon, Houghton Lake, and Lake St. Helen. What a wonderful way to share your vacation memories with friends and family back home.
Want a special coffee drink? Or enjoy crafting your own souvenirs? We found both at Arnie's Craft Store. The store takes up nearly a whole city block, so bring your craft supply shopping list and you'll be able to find it at Arnie's. And if you happen to be here vacationing on the rare rainy day, stop in for a sweatshirt or get a kit for the kids to work on back in their room. Oh, and be sure to check out the wild and wonderful kites for flying along the lake shore.
Well, whenever you go up north, and especially when you've got the kids along, one of the places that everybody stops at are the gift shops. You know, it's kind of like the tourist attractions when you come in here. Going in here and looking at some of this stuff brings back a lot of memories. Look at the stuff on the walls, the hangings. You know, there's wildlife stuff, there's just the Indian stuff, there's moccasins here, and all the kinds of things that you like to bring the family into, and everybody runs around, especially the kids, and they're picking out and playing with everything in here, and usually you pick up a little gift to take home with you. Just a great spot to spend, whether you just do it on a normal day or you come out on the rainy day. You get a bad day up here, come on out, check out the gift shops and all the great things that they have. It's a fun experience for the whole family.
Whether you're looking for a memento or souvenir, or looking to make a fashion statement, Houghton Lake has one of the coolest stores around. When you bring in the kids, be careful, as you might be trapped into buying them some great homemade fudge or moccasins to warm their feet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Roscommon County has some great hiking trails out there. The first one we're going to go to is the Lost Twin Lakes Trail. After that, we'll show you some of the others. It's going to be a lot of fun. When you ask locals how to get to the Lost Twin Lakes Trail, they say turn south off of M55 where the old McDonald's used to be and take the road until the pavement ends and continue on for a ways, keeping to the right of the winding dirt road until you find the parking area. That just highlights how obscure and remote the trail is. We're just outside of Houghton Lake right now. We're at the Lost Twin Lakes Trail. It's about a 3-mile trail. Usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half to walk around it. There are some hills out here. It's out in the middle of nowhere, as you can probably tell by looking around. We're going to go up a hill, and we're going to overlook a swampy area, the confluence of 3 rivers that come through this way. And then we're going to circle back around, drop down, and go through kind of a swampy area, and then come back out to the beginning. Great place to come out here if you just want to get away from things and take a nice little hike through the woods. The trail is part of the AuSable River State Forest, and the trailhead is south of Houghton Lake along Reserve Road. It is an ideal trail for those who like to hike in the woods. A lot of pine trees, that's mostly what we're in right now. Whole forest full of them. Now there are some old growth out here too. You know, we passed a tree back down there, a big hemlock. I think, if I remember this trail correctly, I think we're going to be finding some later as we go along, some of the old growth that's out here. Beautiful to look at those trees because they're so huge, but it's pretty thick through here. This is a nice, give you an idea here, the trail itself. You see a blue blaze on the tree. This particular trail shouldn't be too hard to follow. It only goes in a single loop. We're going to follow it. And we'll cross a bridge, and then we head up a hill and around and down again into a lowland area. But we've always got these to let us know where we're at. In 1999, Scout Troop 944 turned the trail into an Eagle Scout project and constructed a series of boardwalks and bridges that carry you over the ridges, sinkholes, wetlands, and swamps as you enjoy the rustling sound of the forest. And yes, the Twin Lakes really appear to be lost. This is some of the old growth forest that's out in front of me. There's a red pine here. You can see the size of it. It's huge. And you'll find these that the loggers have skipped over and left a few sitting here. But you're going to find them through here. There's another one over here, so just full of it. There are many forested trails in Roscommon County. Our next hike took us to the Red Pines Nature Area Pathway located in Roscommon County, just 8 miles north of St. Allen via F97 and Sunset Road. The 1.5-mile interpretive foot trail is open for hikers and bikers and offers benches to take a rest or listen to the birds and woodpeckers that call the AuSable State Forest home. Well, we've got the perfect day to be out here hiking. It's overcast, it's a little bit chilly. That's great for hiking because when you get on the trails, it can get kind of warm out there, and this just makes it nice. And normally, you're out here by yourself. You don't get a lot of people that come out with that. Now, I'm out here today. I'm with Ed Bergeron, and Ed, maybe you can tell me a little bit about the area we're going into.
Well, this is the Red Pine Natural Pathway area. It's kind of reminiscent of the way the forests were in Michigan in the late 1700s. You've got red pine, white pine, jack pine, variety of hardwoods. So it kind of takes you back to the way Michigan was before the lumber era.
This is an important hike for naturalists to take and study not only the flora, but the fauna of the forest. And it is not only naturalists who are drawn to this interpretive trail, but so are Bigfoot seekers. Many stories abound down to this day, but a memorable one comes from a hunter who tells the tale of how he, on a cloudy opening day of rifle season in 1968, while hunting the St. Helen area, heard a loud crashing in the woods coming toward him. He squatted down in the branches and noticed an awful odor coming from the area of the noise. He reported a big white furry leg stepped into the same row he was. It was huge and he didn't know what it was. After 10 minutes, it went on its way, and when he couldn't hear it anymore, he ran back to the car and waited for the others to come back. It was a story he didn't tell for many years, but it is one that keeps your senses heightened as you walk through the majestic woods, listening for wildlife that may be watching you. As we stand here right now, the nice thing about an interpretive trail is when you come across something like this, there's a sign here to tell you a little bit about it and give you some information. We have both the red and a white pine here. The red pine you can kind of tell because it's got a reddish tint to it. The white pine, not so much this one, but normally you can tell if it's a white pine too because it'll show that way. But other things too, the needles, the way the needles form on it, the way the pine cones form on it, they're different. Each one has its own distinct pine cone and needles, so there are different ways to tell. But this gives you a good idea of how to tell the difference. Well, I picked up a couple of pine cones and I mentioned that there were differences between them. This one that I'm holding in my right hand here is a white pine. You notice that it's longer, kind of narrow, where on the red pine they're short and squatty. So that's one of the ways you can tell as you look at the trees what kind of pine cones they have. We'll tell you what kind of tree it is. Hiking trails amongst mature white and red pine forest and cedar swamp. This is an area working to protect habitat and wildlife forever. The preserve is open to the public from dawn until dusk. One trail is paved and wheelchair accessible. Silverman, a volunteer at the park, took us on a guided trip.
Margaret Hagen's home,
Okay.
which is now used for our educational programs.
Oh, very good.
And we also have summer camp here, and students take field trips out here.
Marguerite was a newspaper reporter who started a publication called Northwood's Call, a newspaper dedicated to conservation and natural resource issues. Much of her writing and composition was done right here at her cabin in the woods.
It's an interpretive area, so there
Okay.
are places to stop, and you can read about various habitat issues and things like that.
After her death, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources donated 40 additional acres and an additional 9 acres was purchased. This makes up the 59-acre nature preserve. The property consists of mature white and red pine forest and cedar swamp. A small stream forms on the property, which becomes Tank Creek. Now, we talked about it being an interpretive trail, and these are the kind of signs that you're going to have out here on the trail.
Right.
And basically, then they can take this and look into the woods and maybe pick out some of the, in this case, some of the plants that are out here.
Absolutely. We have treasure hunts for the kids to find different things. The tall pines, some of those pines are 200-300 years old.
Wow.
They're one of the few pines that weren't cut down by loggers who came in the 1800s. And they used to determine the location of these kinds of pines by listening to the wind, because it makes a distinct wind sound when it passes through these kinds of pines. So whispering pines were things that skilled people listened for, and they'd find a whole tract and cut them down, float them down the rivers, and then transport it around the Great Lakes. There was more value in lumber taken out of Michigan than there was gold taken out of California.
Do any of you out there like ATVs? I'll tell you what, Roscommon County has got some of the best trails out there. We're going to go out and do a jamboree. We're going to do a little rock climbing. Then we're just going to jump on the trails and go for a nice ride. Exit 222 off of I-75 brings you to St. Helen. There's a highway sign that promises fun for all at exit 222, and there's no shortage of fun on its 60 miles of trails. Join Ray and I in learning about the St. Helen Dirt Packers and their role in making this one of the state's best areas to ride. Most of the terrain is flat and sandy, but there's a small play area with moderate hills and some great climbing. We're on the trail out here. We're in kind of a unique area right now. I'm with Kathleen and Eric. This is something they've just gotten into. What, in the last couple of years, isn't it?
Yes, we just bought our property up here in the past few years. We've actually been coming out here, making day trips from our home downstate for the past, probably 13 to 15 years. A couple middle-aged adrenaline junkies out
There
here
you
just
go.
having fun.
There you go, having fun. Kathleen, how long have you been doing this?
I've been riding ATVs and quads my whole life. My parents have a place in Harrison, and I grew up riding three-wheelers at an old gravel pit there and snowmobiles, and was riding quads my whole life.
This is a nice buggy you've got here.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? You know, why it's so special?
Well, this is a 2014 Polaris RZR XP1000. It was the first year for the RZRs, and this is kind of a limited production color run. They call it the Black Pearl Edition. We've got a lot of creature comforts in here. One of them is Sirius satellite radio, so we can cruise the trails. We have yet to be stuck anywhere that we've ever gone. We absolutely enjoy it.
One of the attractions for the hardcore four-wheel drive enthusiasts is the challenge of the 6 rock crawl courses constructed by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources in 2010. Designed for standard 4x4 pickups and street-legal Jeeps, it takes a lot of skill, patience, and often gloating to try the challenging course. Roscommon County has a lot of different golf courses. They're all really nice, but we're going to start out at the Quest Golf Course. We were out there with a friend of ours, Kurt, that owns Lyman's on the Lake. And Kurt is the type of guy that likes to golf, but he also likes to do a lot of fishing. And he brought along his fishing pole. We're on a quest to find a great golf course. And lo and behold, we're out here at the Quest Golf Club. So I'm with Dan right now, general manager here. And Dan, tell us a little bit about this course.
So the Quest Golf Club is the only championship golf course here in Roscommon County. So we're located here at Houghton Lake, just south of the lake here, off of Old 27. But this is a par 72, close to a 7,000-yard layout. That's a great test for every ability level you have, from experts to beginners. The Quest offers something special for everybody.
What makes it a professional golf course like that?
So we got a true design layout here. This is a Ken Green design layout. Ken Green played on the PGA Tour for a number of years. John Sanford also helped design it. So this is a true championship layout, truly designed back in 1994, and it opened up to be a spectacular test here for the state of Michigan, for the golfers here in the state. Your golf holes here have a lot of mounds, great bunkers, great green complexes, and just a good test for every ability.
Okay, what are some of the signature holes that you have here?
Well, number 9 here we're standing on is a great signature hole. This hole right here has a bunker that starts about 160 yards from the green. That bunker then continues across the center of the fairway at 100 yards to the green, all the way up to the left side of the green. So I'm pretty sure this is the longest continuous bunker in the state of Michigan.
It looks like it is. I'd be right in the middle of it all the time, I think.
As you stand up on the hill here, you look down at the green. Off in the distance, you can see Houghton Lake as well, too.
Well, it was a great day on a great course, but some of us were getting a little more weary of our score than others. I think Curtis had enough and left the course in disgust. Tom tried his best to find out where he was heading, but Kurt just continued to walk away.
Where you going? Where you going? Hey, he's going fishing.
Well, Kurt owns one of the most well-known fishing tackle shops on Houghton Lake, called Lyman's on the Lake, and not a golf pro shop, so I guess he knows what he'd rather be doing. We had 4 categories of golfers: the pro, which was Dan McGinnis, the avid golfer, which was Dave Klaus, the occasional golfer in Tom Ferguson, and there was number 4, the I haven't done this in years golfer in Kurt. Well, I guess you could say there was 5. Number 5 was me, the never golfer. Well, I hope you enjoyed the golfing. I bet you didn't think that you could fish out there, but that's not the best fishing around here. Houghton Lake and Lake St. Helen, we've got some of the best fishing in the state. We're going to take you over there. After that, we're going to go out and look at some of the state parks in the area.
We have another day and lake of fabulous fishing to share with you, and that is our time on Lake St. Helen with our guide, Bill Ayers. Fishermen visiting the area will find hours of pleasure on Lake St. Helen, which is 6 miles long and has 18 miles of shoreline, 15 of which are undeveloped. Lake St. Helen is made up of 3 lakes, simply called the First, Second, and Third Lakes. As a guide, Bill has logged hours and hours of fishing on the area lakes. He'll answer your questions, suggest fishing times, and help you to not be discouraged by fishing at the wrong time or conditions.
People that come up here to fish, a lot of them use pontoon boats, and the whole family comes out and they can anchor and really catch a lot of bluegills. We have the Bluegill Festival here in the summertime.
The First Lake is the headwaters for the south branch of the AuSable River. Different fish are found in different places in the 2,400-acre lake, though the lake is well known for bluegill. The community of St. Helen hosts an annual bluegill festival in the summer with parades, games, and rides for children, and of course, a bluegill fishing contest.
Nice walleye. Look how pretty he is. They're golden. The fish out in the big lakes aren't this pretty. You know, they blend in with their surroundings, and they don't have a nice surroundings. But this one right here is. That's a nice fish right there.
There are several fishing tournaments on all 3 lakes in Roscommon County, including one that the Houghton Lake Area Tourism Bureau and partners sponsor, named Catch Us If You Can. Imagine catching one of the tagged fish and finding yourself getting a $50 gas card and being put into a drawing for a cash prize and new boat package at the end of the spring fishing season. The yellow tags are in the dorsal fin in more than 100 fish tagged in Lake St. Helen, Higgins Lake, and Houghton Lake. The waters of Houghton Lake cover more than 20,000 acres against nearly 30 miles of shoreline. It's an easy launch from the South Shore DNR boat launch. Maintained by the state of Michigan, the use of these launches requires a recreation passport, usually obtained when you renew your license plate. It also makes for a better fishing experience if you obtain the current fishing rules and limits from the state by visiting the website, obtaining them from bait and fishing shops, or calling the Tourism Bureau. Writer Fennell Hudson said, "To go fishing is one of the most pleasurable experiences I can imagine." If you think that way too, you're in for a very pleasurable show as we take you to Michigan's other Great Lakes for top-notch fishing and 2 unique festivals. We're not teaching you any secrets, but along with local anglers, we'll highlight the lakes and their surroundings for your great fishing getaway. Let's drop a line and see what we hook. A breeze, a boat, blue skies, and a fishing rod. It doesn't take much more than that to make Tom a happy angler, especially on Houghton Lake. After stopping at the local bait shop, he was anxious to see if the handmade lures, made especially for Houghton Lake, will do the trick. Let's wait and see if Tom is going to end up working for his dinner.
Oh, there it is. That's nice. Nice. Nice fish. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I know we crammed a lot of things into one show, but that's because there's so much to do there. If you would like more information, you can go to our website at greatgetaways.tv. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.